Hello, everyone, and welcome to the meeting, the June 9th, 2025 meeting of the Abington Affordable Housing Trust Committee, 5 p.m. here at Abington Town Hall in the Buckley Room. We'll start off by doing the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're going to deviate from the agenda and again just go around and introduce ourselves, starting with our newest member, Amanda. Would you say who you are and what you do?
Yeah, Amanda Zompetti. I'm the representative from the Abington Select Board.
Awesome.
I'm Michael Lavery, and I'm luckily not the newest member anymore. I'm now a veteran. So thank you.
I'm Ellen Delaney, the longest member on the board, and this is my last meeting because I'm not seeking reappointment, but I'm sure you'll do a great job.
Okay, and Pam Howe, and I've been on the board now a couple of years, and plan to stay for the next one anyway.
I'm Bruce Hughes. I'm chair of the planning board and chair of this committee and vice chair of the CPA. And I was on this committee originally, and then they decided, I saw that there was a need, so I came back and they named me chair. But anyway, welcome. Could you guys identify yourselves? Hi, for the folks at home too, please.
Sure. Paris Bollinger, South Shore Habitat for Humanity.
I'm Mary McHugh. I'm the director of South Shore Habitat for Humanity.
Maybe we could put this on. We just got well, let's take a minute and take a look at the minutes from the meeting of May 12th. And anybody has any comments? Ellen, did you do the minutes?
I did the minutes, yeah.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome. Somebody else needs to do them for the next one.
Mhm. Ellen, your statement was the longest part of the,
I wanted to include it, because I'm very sincere about it.
I'll try to do the minutes as we go along. It's tough to moderate the meeting and do the minutes, but it's not something.
If you want going forward, I can bring my computer and type them up as we go, if that's easier.
Well, next time,
Yeah.
let's do that.
Yep, sounds good to me.
You'll reorganize at the next meeting.
So is, if everybody had a chance to finish reading the minutes?
Yep,
Any comments?
looks good to me.
Someone like to make a motion to approve minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the
Yeah.
May meeting, May
Pam?
12th meeting.
Someone second that, please?
Seconded.
Aye. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Ellen, great job.
You're welcome.
I don't think we have any correspondence, do we? No. Okay. All right, well, let's get right into the presentation by Habitat for Humanity, Abington Project, and we can say where the project is, what it is, and what the status of it is. So, I'm not talking for you, you guys talk, so.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having us here tonight. We appreciate the opportunity to speak and to meet with all of you. As I said, I'm the executive director of South Shore Habitat for Humanity, and Paris's role is our property development manager. So Paris is primarily responsible for shepherding our projects through the pre-development phase up and through construction. So he is key to the conversation today. First of all, I just want to thank the Town of Abington as well as this committee for supporting this project. It's going to be one that we're truly proud of. To answer your first question, I'm sorry, we're talking about 871 Plymouth Street in Abington. This was a single-family, two-bedroom home that we purchased from a development company that had purchased it at a foreclosure auction. So we do anticipate renovating the property from a two-bedroom to a three-bedroom home, and it will become a wonderful family home and a wonderful neighborhood. at some point next spring. So in terms of where we are right now, we did purchase the property substantially later than we had planned to. We had planned to do it last fall. We ended up not purchasing the property until February of 2025. So you can imagine that shifted all of our timelines in a lot of different ways. But the property has been in our control for a number of months now. It is fully winterized, and we are checking in on a weekly basis. These days, we have a company that's mowing the lawn and sort of keeping an eye on things. And we do send one of our site construction supervisors out on a weekly basis to just make sure that everything is still looking fair and we don't have any issues on the property. We are currently building in Cohasset, if you're not familiar with it. We have 2 duplexes that are due to close, one of them this month and then one probably next month. So that's where we've been focused for the last couple of weeks, certainly, and certainly will be for the next month or so. But as soon as that project starts to wrap up, we'll shift our construction team to Abington. So modestly speaking, we anticipate opening construction at Abington by the end of the summer. We will probably be in there periodically before then, but we will start really focusing on construction by August, September of this year. And we anticipate to have it ready for sale by spring, by about May of next year. So that's the long-term project timeline. What we're doing right now is our architect, Paul, has been meeting with the town of Abington's, excuse me, I'm sorry, who was he meeting with?
He's meeting with the building inspector.
The building inspector.
Yeah.
And I think that in those conversations, we've determined that we will need just a building permit to be able to do the renovations that we want to do. So wrapping up that stage of just sort of getting our sights in terms of what's necessary and how extensive the permitting will be was a big part of that. But we're feeling fairly comfortable with that. The presentation, the submittal will be ready by next week to obtain the permit. So that's what we've been working on the last couple of weeks. The project itself is budgeted to come in somewhere around $691,000, and that includes acquisition of the house. We'll be able to, on average, a single-family home, we're able to obtain about 1/3 of the costs in in-kind donations to the construction of the home. So that could be contribution of fixtures, it could be contribution of electrical, time and labor. It can vary widely depending on the needs of the project, but we do anticipate that this home will be a great candidate for that. It's a great way to involve the community and to get corporations and businesses in the regional area interested in the project. And so we are still anticipating needing to fundraise about $300,000 to support the remainder of the project. So as construction starts to move back into Abington, the other thing that we are working on is the community outreach portion of the project. We are currently making plans to, anything and everything from meeting the select board to coming here today to tabling at your local craft fairs as we go into the fall. That's a popular time for a lot of festivals and falls. We'll have staff at your local library talking to people. I'm also trying to encourage volunteer interest, people to come and volunteer on the project. I'm sure you are all available, but for the sake of anyone watching at home, I would mention that one of the wonderful but also quirky aspects of Habitat for Humanity is that we build with volunteer labor, and much of it is unskilled volunteer labor, so anyone can come and volunteer on our build sites. We build 4 to 5 days a week across our projects. And, you might be there on the day they're framing, you might be there on the day they're installing kitchens, you might learn how to lay tile that day. You could be washing windows, it kind of depends on whatever is on the docket for the day. But it is a wonderful way to engage with your fellow community members and with this project as well. So that is, in summary, unless I've missed something big,
Yeah.
that is where we are right now, and certainly looking forward to sort of coming to live in Abington for a little while.
When does the application for the homeowners, because they are part of the project and part of that is the sweat equity going into the home.
Right.
So if you're looking to start, this summer, fall, when does that open up for the community and region?
So we have a home that's currently marketing right now. So as soon as that wraps up at the end of the summer, we will open up the advertisement for Abington.
Okay.
The marketing plan for Abington's already been approved by EOHLC at the state level. So we're ready to go. It's just a bandwidth issue for us right now.
Perfect.
And we will adjust the required sweat equity to accommodate the time frame that's available to the homeowners.
Perfect.
But generally speaking, we open up about 9 to 12 months ahead.
Okay.
So we're on the shorter end of that, but not unreasonably so.
Great.
I might have missed it. If people are interested in volunteering, how do they go about, like, when do they know where and when to show up?
Sure. You can go to our website under volunteer for individuals, and there is actually an online sign-up calendar there. You just pick the day that you want to sign up. If you're interested in bringing a group or even better, corporate sponsor, we would ask you to go through the group avenue that's on there and sign up with our staff member, because there's a little bit more involved with bringing a group to the site. But all folks are welcome to sign up anytime through the individual sign up.
Thank you.
And I just want to clarify that the website for our affiliate is South Shore Habitat
Okay.
for Humanity, so people don't go to the wrong
Yep.
URL.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For the sake of our TV viewers here, could you just say that website, please?
South Shore Habitat for Humanity, so is it?
It's sshabitat.org.
Yep.
Habitat.
Yeah.
Yep.
I noticed, I mean, I'm on your website and your email, Facebook list and stuff like that. And I see that you're actively recruiting, for volunteers and stuff like that. So I'm semi-retired. I should get off my butt and do that.
We would love to have
Because
you.
I know the difference between a handle end of a hammer and the business end of a hammer. That's probably about it.
Well, again, we welcome people with all experiences. Certainly we have individuals with none. We also have experienced construction crews from construction companies who come and help. Anything and everything in between is welcome. I would also add, just as a point of reference, they say in Habitat for Humanity that it takes about 500 volunteers to build a home with Habitat. So it is truly a case in which the village, takes care of its own. It really is a wonderful phenomenon to watch happen.
Years ago, there was a couple, Mel and Ruth Libby, who Pam knew through my church, and Ellen knew. And they were very active in Habitat on South Shore and stuff like that. They've been gone a long time now, but they're greatly missed. And they were just wonderful people in the community who were involved in that. They wanted to recruit my wife and myself to take over for them, but,
A lot of great legacies for sure.
yeah. So we have a history in Abington, not necessarily projects, but people who have been involved in
You
Habitat.
have 2 homes or 3 homes?
Two.
2, yeah.
Wilbur Street and one on Charles Street, which is actually handicapped accessible.
Correct, yeah.
Well, we ask for your help if, it's a little bit like any kind of nonprofit project. If you know people who want to get involved, people I should talk to, people who might have forms of support, people who might volunteer or have access to a group who might want to volunteer, sort of name gathering at this point. That's part of that community outreach. So, don't hesitate to reach out to one of us. We would love to hear from you.
I'd love to have you come to a planning board meeting when we're having a presentation by a developer or something like that. That way you could make contacts with people who possibly could, contribute to your project or, financially or labor and stuff like that. So, I'll talk to Liz Shea, and
She's the town planner.
she's the town planner, Kevin Cogan, who's the assistant town planner, and we'll see what's coming up. We don't meet in August.
Okay.
The planning board doesn't meet in August, so I'm gonna try to have this committee not meet for a couple of months in the summertime. But I think that would be a good exposure for you. I mean, we have, Glenn LaPointe, Steve Giosio, who've done a lot of projects in this town, Ken Ryder, and, Steve just did a couple of townhouses on Bedford Street and stuff.
Gosselin.
Steve Gosselin,
Yeah.
right. And he does nice work. He's done a bunch of projects here in Abington. I don't want to say, he has a reputation for doing good work. I'm trying to be objective as a planning board member. He has a reputation for doing good work.
Also, you were talking about festivals, and we do the big Oktoberfest festival in October, where you can set up a table and people can walk around. It's right up here on the Frollo Memorial Field, and that would be a great opportunity to get out and have people sign up, or, so I was just trying to find the dates. I think they've already nailed it
Oh,
for
I know when
this.
it is.
I was trying.
October 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Perfect.
Terrific, thank you for the suggestions.
Very, and that comes, then you get people from the area, but it is, you know, a very well-attended event.
That's
And there's
amazing.
plenty of other community tables and organizations that are there, so it totally just fits in with the group.
Amazing, thank you for the both
Yeah.
of you. for
That
the
would be
suggestions.
great.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
love that idea, Amanda.
Just make sure you have a wheel for prizes or something. Candy, stickers.
Yeah, candy's good.
Music, something, but yeah, it's a large group of community organizations. Unfortunately, we just had the Founder's Day this weekend. It was moved to yesterday, but same thing, there's a large cohort of tables of organizations that's set up to attract volunteers or get their name out, so definitely Oktoberfest is gonna be your biggest opportunity heading into the winter.
Perfect, and the timing is perfect.
Yeah.
That's great.
And you can let us know, like, the dates that you will be starting, because people are gonna say, well, when is this happening?
Right.
You know, and you
Yeah.
can just say, well, sometimes at the end of the summer, you know, so we'll just maybe, you know, keep in touch, or as soon as you kind of maybe
Yeah,
have a
we
time
know.
frame,
Add it to the
reach out to
website,
us.
we can do the
Yeah, put something
newsletter
on the
through like the
website.
office manager, you know, even Abington Cam.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do like a
Oh, that'd be a
spotlight
great
thing.
Abington Cam
Yeah.
segment.
Yeah, he's always looking for, people would be
You
on
guys are okay
television
being
and
on
stuff like that.
camera?
Sure.
I mean, you are now, but that would be a great opportunity too, because that gets shared and it goes on the YouTube and it's just, hey, here's what's coming up, here's the link, and then you can have the link available as you talk to the crew there, so that
We
would
will
be a good
definitely make
opportunity
a note
too.
to keep you all updated.
Yeah.
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 Because that'll be the first question, if you say, hey, you know, Habitat's gonna be working on a house, would you like to volunteer? Well, when is it? You
Right.
know?
Right.
And we have a
Can I
senior
apply?
newsletter, I'm on the Council on Aging Board, we have the is that what you were referring to, the
That
senior
too,
newsletter?
yep.
Yeah, you were talking about the town newsletter?
And the town newsletter,
Yeah.
but I mean, if it's on the website, that helps too, but there's also, but the COA one would be a great opportunity too.
The Council on Aging is 55 plus, so there's a lot of people who are on the younger side, some are retired, some are semi-retired. I plan on being heavily involved in this with you since I've been with you since the beginning. And I'll
fantastic.
get the word out, I promise you that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And of course, we'd love to have you back to meet with us midway or whatever way you guys want to do this. I mean, this is on television. And, just, an updated progress report, bring some pictures, stuff like that.
Sure.
So people can see what it is. I mean, people know where this thing is on 58, but, because it's near the senior center, it's near the commuter rail, it's near that great big Zero Summer Street project, which is, I have a list here. I passed out the committees, I can share this with you if you want. But it's the subsidized housing list of community in
I'd love to see
Abington.
it,
There's a
I'll share
sticky
that
note
with
on the
you.
back of that, Bruce, I don't know.
just in case there's a secret back there.
Yeah,
Which needs to sign for zoning grant, that must have been something on the plan.
It's the password, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
yeah.
All my passwords do with dead cats, no, my own dead cats. If anyone knows my cat's names, they probably don't, which is just as well. Well, this has been great, thank you folks for giving us, your experience. And Ellen has your contact information, right? So we will.
Yeah, and I can hand out
He's
my
got some
card.
cards.
Oh, do you guys have cards? That'd be great, thank you.
Thank you.
That'd be very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody, I've been already trying to promote it, and people are very excited that we're finally getting another Habitat house in town, so.
I'm really glad to hear that, that's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Well, we truly appreciate your partnership. It's
Awesome.
great.
I'm so glad it all happened. I know it started when Noreen was doing it. I believe she said that this was a house that HUD owned, and it was a new program they started to start offering homes locally
Yes.
to Habitat, which I think is fantastic.
Yes.
This is good. So anyway, I'm glad we got the right night for these guys to come.
Sure, rub it in, Bruce.
Well, it was a very short meeting the last time.
Yeah, it was,
Oh, right,
22 minutes
yeah.
last time.
We were all geared up and ready.
Yeah.
And we are happy to come back. Whenever you feel like you want an update, we'll give you whatever we have. Otherwise, we'll look for that moment in which it feels like we've got a presentation and pictures and
Great.
all
If you
those
want to
things.
say, just briefly, we're going to move into a couple of things, and this might be of interest to you. I was going to give some updates on the new Abington Housing Production Plan. After our last meeting, I met with Liz Shea and Kevin Cogan, the town planner, assistant town planner, about that. And I guess that'll be done toward the end of summer and stuff like that, and we're not gonna have drafts presented to us. We'd like to have had drafts, but that's not the way they do things. They'll complete a draft document and it'll be ready, and then the planning board will review it, and this committee will review it. So, as soon as that's available, you know, I'd love for you guys to see that, so you can see where the town of Abington is as far as housing, because you'll be well into your project by that time. And, like I say, I just passed out the list of the housing. There's also, the planning board and the Open Space and Recreation Committee are reviewing the draft chapters of the new Open Space and Recreation Plan, which is going out for public comment next week. And that has an extensive housing section in it. And it's amazing the growth in Abington from 2000 to 2010 to 2020, as far as the number of housing and population. The population of this town has grown to like 17,000 plus now, close to 18,000 plus in the most recent census. So, you know, there's a demand for housing. Unfortunately, if you're on the planning board, most of the housing, we have large lot, primarily large lot zoning in Abington. I live in an R20 district, which is it's an older section of town, it's 20,000 square foot lots. But majority of the housing stock has been built on these R40. As a planner, I was a professional planner on referral colony planning council for 30 odd years. And I was in the business, I worked for Edwards and Kelsey with Nassau and Breslin and Massachusetts. So that's how I put bread.
Oh, VHP?
Yeah, VHP.
Oh, yeah.
And Edwards and Kelsey, which is gone now, that became part of another company.
Yep.
Became out of Jacobs Group, and Massachusetts Regional Planning Commission at Glen Eaton after I left OCPC. So this is what I devoted my life to, is planning.
Oh, nice.
And anyway, of course I have good relationships with Old Colony Planning Council. I haven't worked there all those years.
Sure.
But I was the economic development community planner there for many years.
I worked with we worked with VHP when I was with Ahold and Stop and Shop back in the day, another chapter of my life. Yeah, in the commercial real estate side.
Yeah, they would come by Old Colony Planning Council when they were building the Pembroke Superstore down there.
Oh, yeah.
Ruth Bonsignori was a planner at VHB, and she came by, and you know, I said, well, I'm glad I work in the public sector now, but
Yeah.
the private sector, it's,
So the Abington, the housing production plan, the draft is being finalized and it'll go to the planning board first. What is the timeline for that to go to the planning board before this committee sees it? Or
the housing production plan will go to the planning board and this committee the end of August.
Perfect.
Yeah, and then, you know, at that time, you know, public comment, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the two bodies are gonna review it,
Yep,
the
okay.
planning board and this committee. And since I'm chair of both,
Yeah, you gotta see it
Be
twice.
sure we'll get it.
yeah, so we'll get a good look at it.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah.
That's great.
We talked previously too about finding out from, the department in town about other properties. And I don't know if that ever came about, like I know when we met with Liz and Kevin, we talked about what other town properties are available and what other land is available.
There was just
Like
another
owned by
auction-
town or like
Town,
private that could
yeah.
be town owned?
There
Yeah.
was just another auction, what, 17 acres of land recently?
There's one coming
No,
up June
that's-
11th.
June 11th.
That's coming up, but
Yeah.
we actually approved monies to have that investigated for wetlands, right?
Was it that one or the,
This,
I
the
thought
one
there
that's
was
up for
another one.
auction it's a tight entrance and a lot of it is not buildable. So it is gonna be like it is an interesting choice.
I think there's two different parcels, and I think the one that we did is the other parcel, which is
Yeah.
down Linwood Street.
Yeah, down toward the Walmart, that area of Brockton down
I
there.
thought it was the one that the school owned.
That's the one they were gonna do a school at one point, they decided not to
Right.
because of the restrictions of the space.
That's the one that.
That's coming
is
up
for
on
auction.
Linwood
That's the
or
one.
right on like the Brockton line near Walmart.
So which one's going up for auction?
That
The
one.
The
That
school,
one. Yep.
the school, yes.
Correct,
So that's
yep.
at the corner of High Street and Brockton Avenue.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Isn't that the one that we talked about?
I believe it was the other one.
Okay.
But we had actually approved money
You can
from this
ask Liz.
committee to do a site, environmental analysis of the site and stuff like that. And still the town put it up for auction, but that's okay.
Nice.
You know, and we were all there, most of us were there at the select board meeting, They discussed that, and they said, well, fiscal constraints on the town. I remember Roger Wood saying that, fiscal constraints in the town necessitated the town selling the property. And I'm like, come on, I wish we could get it for housing.
Yeah, but I don't remember that coming up at a selectmen's meeting, but
Yeah.
no,
I don't remember
this
seeing it either,
property.
so.
Yeah, so I don't, that's what my question is, like,
Yeah.
this property's going up for auction and it was never brought to a selectmen's meeting, so.
Yeah, the one that's going up for auction right now.
Right.
Yeah, as
So-
opposed to the other piece of property.
Or if it was just over a year ago and I'm just unaware of it, so it might have been brought up and then it's just been sitting, I'm not sure.
I don't
but-
think it has been, because
Yeah,
I've been to
I don't know if
most
it's
of them.
because it's town-owned, that maybe that's why they can,
Well, that's actually, we can
Yeah, we
discuss
figure
that
that.
another time.
Yep.
But my question was just, did we ever hear back about, other properties that, because they have the list, is the tax office
tax
that
title,
has
yeah.
tax title properties and that type of thing, so
I
we should,
don't think we got it.
we should probably follow up on that, because there might be something on
Yeah.
that list.
Sure,
Mhm.
absolutely.
That's out there, and the next thing you know, it's like, oh, it's going up for auction, and it's
Yeah.
gone.
Do you recall in that research, we did a research project a year or so ago, surveying the towns that we serve, and looking for potential properties. Do you recall if Abington was on
I don't recall.
there? Okay, well, we'll follow up with you. If we've identified some properties, we're happy to share them with you.
Well, that would be great, so I've got some homework to do. Anyway, we'll get this done. And next time, we have your contact information.
Yeah.
We'll put this stuff together for you.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah. I'll call up Liz Shea tomorrow morning and say, hey, Liz, it's like you don't have enough to do. How can you help us?
You got a lot of hats you're wearing.
Yeah. And, we just for information purposes, there was when I was reading the draft open space and recreation plan, they mentioned the property off of North Quincy Street. And I did a site visit on that recently, in the past month or so. And this is next to the Gables. It's almost like it's closer to Brockton than it is in Abington. You get on the end of Chestnut Street and you go left, rather. And there's like a junkyard and stuff like that, which is the only, according to the report, it's the only brownfield site in Abington. But it's right next to that.
Oh, wow.
And then, anyway, this is gonna be a big 190-something unit with affordable units and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
And that's a friendly 40B.
That's
It's
a friendly
260
40B.
Is it 267 North Quincy? 167?
I think it's 267 North Quincy
I
Street.
forget the actual address. Was it that big? Is it 190?
Yeah,
Oh, it is,
Yeah.
okay.
and they have something like 40, 50 affordable housing units in it. And it's unfortunate, their neighbors are the brownfield site and stuff like that, but it's gonna be immediately adjacent to the Gables.
Oh, no, this is
Yeah, what's interesting is that the town line in Abington from Brockton is about 1 foot off the
I
curbing
do not know.
on North Quincy Street.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
just
I
realized
thought it
that's
was
what I
like
was
the middle of the
looking
street,
for,
it's
and I
not.
Couldn't
And
figure out what it was
presumably
supposed to
they're
be.
gonna be getting their water, well, they get the sewer from Brockton
I
anyway.
doubt it.
No, it's way
But I'm
too
sure
small.
they'll negotiate water,
Was that big?
again, because that was another thing that's been discussed is how tight the water supply is here in Abington. You know, we have, 3 wells and surface water in Rockland and in Pembroke and.
Yeah, you do a little bit off of McQuon and Pembroke, right?
Right,
I
yeah.
had an issue a month or so ago, a little bit
Yeah,
of a scare.
The
People were
boiled
freaking
water.
out, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I want to correct the address. It's 161 North Quincy Street.
161 North Quincy Street.
hopefully that's been resolved.
Well, they had to
Boil-
change
boil
the
water
address
or-
on the Summer Street. It's not 0 Summer Street, it has
Yeah.
another name to it.
Yeah,
But that's worth a ride. You go down to the commuter rail station and take a look at that thing, it's pretty
It's
amazing.
monstrous.
really,
It's-
okay.
It's monstrous and nobody
I don't think
wanted it.
amazing is the word I'd use. I'm
No.
not really thrilled about
It's
it.
gone up, it
monstrous.
was permitted at the beginning of the year, and it's mostly prefab.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my wife and I were coming home from something a couple of months ago, and we saw these tractor trailer trucks loaded up with prefab sections. So
Wow.
we followed them, and they took us to the train station.
No kidding.
So,
They were
yeah.
not
Wow.
pleasant to work with at all.
What's that?
The developers were not pleasant to work
Oh.
with at all.
Bruce, 161 North Quincy isn't on this printout.
Is there a
No.
reason for that?
That's just in the planning stages.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
And the Abington Senior Housing, that's supposed to be 1015 Plymouth Street, the next to the last one. That currently is not happening. They don't have a developer. You don't do projects that big, right?
That's a big one,
That's-
isn't it? Yeah.
So
Yeah, they're going
that,
down to zero
Yeah.
anyway.
I know
Right.
you reached out to Glenn LaPointe, they
Yes.
weren't doing that.
They just don't have they haven't been able to get a developer. They've
Okay.
had, so they started the whole project before COVID, and then when COVID happened, it sort of shut everything down, and they've had different groups come in, you know, they have the plans all set. It's a they approved by everybody. I think the permits are still
I think
active.
they are, yeah, and
Yeah.
like the plan and everything looks great.
They got it
but-
extended for 3 years, I think, because he had somebody that was very interested at that point in time, but then it didn't happen.
Yeah, we're a smaller affiliate, right, so, you know,
Right.
probably doing 2 or 3 houses
Yeah,
at a time, you know. So we
Okay.
don't really have the bandwidth for those larger.
yeah.
Have other Habitat chapters done large projects? I'm just curious.
It varies. The largest that we've done is in Duxbury, and I believe that was 8 units, if I'm not misspeaking. We did 8 in Bower Street in Quincy. That was a mix of single-family and duplexes. That's kind of the history of our organization. Our comfort zone is single-family and duplexes. Having said that, there are other affiliates, like Cape Cod, for instance, that's doing larger, 10, 15 unit type places. I don't want to speak for them because they're a different organization altogether, but I do think that when they're able to kind of line projects up where everything's kind of in the same area and they move from space to space, they get kind of more of a assembly line kind of approach to it. It works well for them.
So mass, greater economies in mass,
Yeah.
multiple units and stuff like that. So we'll just have to see if we can get you some properties here in Abington, so you can do a couple of more units. and stuff.
Well, and keep us in mind too, sometimes, the type of organization that we are, we can do things with properties that other folks, other developers can't make sense of, so,
That's a great point.
yeah, so, again, our sweet spot is the single family or the duplex, but, sometimes you go see Cohasset, it's a tiny property, and now it has 2 families going into it, so.
I actually met one of those families who's moving into Cohasset yesterday, and she's just absolutely thrilled.
I'm glad that was,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
glad that was the feedback.
Yes.
It is exciting. I actually had a wonderful moment this last week. We've been dealing with the construction, the temporary scaffolding to the porches, and then all of a sudden there was a real porch on the front of the home when I showed up last week. And I walked up the steps and I had this kind of like aha moment. It was a real porch
awesome.
in a real house. It really is incredible. So
And I know you also will take donated land, correct?
we do. The majority of our properties actually come through some kind of a transfer through town relationships, city relationships. We do also have a number of donors who approach us at various points, interested. Usually it's kind of they're looking for a legacy for them and their families. The most recent ones, unfortunately, have been a little too large for us, wanting to put in 10 or 15 units. But we gladly accept and evaluate properties in any way that we can get them. So.
Excellent.
Well, we've learned an awful lot, and I hope the folks at home tonight have learned an awful lot about Habitat and also things that are going on in Abington, the housing production plan, the new open space and recreation plan, and this has been great. And I've taken a lot of notes. So hopefully, I can present some sort of legible. I'll type this up right away. So, but we'll get this out. And I guess the other thing I wanted to discuss was future meeting dates. A lot of people go away in the summertime and stuff like that, and I know the planning board takes the month of August off. Selectmen take any time off from it?
Apparently we have for most of June, given holidays and stuff, so we're not meeting for another 2 weeks. So I will tell you then what our summer plans are. I think it's just once in July and once in August, so.
I think that's how it's been in the past.
Yeah, I would still want a touch point. I would not want to just skip the whole summer, especially as we're heading into a tight budget next year, so.
Well, how about we take the month of July off? And if anything comes up, we could have a meeting.
Sounds good to me.
So why don't we plan on taking the month of July? I guess we had to get a motion. Would someone like to make a motion that we take the month of July off?
I'll make a motion, take the month of July off.
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Can I vote on that? I'll say aye.
Sure.
Yeah,
you're still
sure.
on the committee,
I'm a member
sure.
tonight.
Yeah,
So it's-
exactly.
Till
You're taking July off either way.
11:59 PM.
And I didn't make a plaque or something, but we just wanted to, Pam, could you give a testimonial for Ellen? You've worked with her the longest.
Testimonial.
Well, I mean, just tell everybody how wonderful she is.
She is wonderful, she is wonderful. She was a huge part of inviting you in and getting this house going, and she didn't drop the ball on that for 1 minute. She was there advocating the whole time, and she's just been just irreplaceable, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, you are doing a lot in a lot of different places in town, and this was just one of your passions that you did, and.
I'm still passionate about it.
You
just
are
not
still
as a board
passionate
member.
about it. Well, we'll be calling you, and,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I know you'll be following up with these folks, and we wish you all success on all your other endeavors that I know you're gonna.
I'll see you around.
Oh, we see each other all the time. It's like Ellen's everywhere all the time,
Yeah.
doing everything.
It's a small town, and there's a small pool of volunteers, which is why I'm on so many boards, and other people around this table are on so many. Mike, you haven't been on this committee a long time, but you've worked with Ellen at the elections and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You wanna talk a little bit about her with that?
I mean, she
please?
taught me a lot. The last election, the town election, we were in the same precinct and worked together, and she introduced me to everyone in the town. So
There you go.
now I know everyone. But she's helped me so much with both this and the voting. I'd be lost here without her. So
Amanda, you wanna say some nice things
Yeah,
about
I mean,
Ellen?
so, prior to being on the select board, I was on, the Community Preservation Committee for 3.5, 4 years, and, seeing Ellen be representative for housing and for other projects in town, and same thing, we've run into each other quite a bit, again, with a small volunteer pool. And I count Ellen as not just a fellow volunteer, but a friend as well, so it's been wonderful
You're making me
working with
teary.
you. I know, I joined this, now you just leave, fine, whatever. I'm just gonna see you like tomorrow probably, so it's fine, but, you've done an amazing job advocating for some of this that, can get lost in the shuffle, and I think that's what's hard sometimes, is this is not pretty work, it's kind of boring, but it does benefit our town in a way that I think people don't realize until they see it happen, so thank you.
Thank you.
I-
And I'll still be on the Housing Authority.
Wonderful.
So I'm staying with that.
As chair, I guess I get the last word. I mean, I was a planner for a long time, and people don't think that's sexy. I guess I always thought it did. And I put food on the table for my family for a very long time. But it's always been my passion. I read the book, The Power Broker, Robert Moses' book, and he wasn't a planner, but anyway, it was urban planning. And Ellen, has devoted her life in town to so many things that aren't sexy, like the housing trust and, elections and stuff like that. But this is basic work that needs to be done in the community. And at the landfill, taking in the objects we deposited.
The compost
The
site.
compost site.
We deposited.
Ellen and her husband are at the compost site
We've
every week.
deposited a couple of
He retired
TVs there,
from that.
not in the landfill, but at the, the collection point and stuff like that. And you see you out there, I see you at the elections and everything and here. And I could go to the senior center, I don't, but I could. But
You gotta come, it's pretty fantastic.
It's pretty fun.
yeah, I'm not gonna be on the pickleball court, trust me, but, because I'm still working part-time. But, no, you've just been amazing, and, again, as Amanda said, I count you as a friend. I hope that's okay.
Oh, of course.
And you've just been awesome, and, we will invite you to give any input. I think it's especially important, now that we have a habitat project, which we haven't had in a long time, we could, as your advice and stuff like that, and, and being on the housing board, stuff like that. And of course, the open space and the housing production plan are coming up. There's a lot of things coming up that are gonna be released, which is important for the development of the town of Abington, the guided development of the town of Abington. And we want you to continue to be a part of that.
Okay, thank
So,
you.
All right.
Wow. I didn't think I'd be so emotional.
Well, you can come to our next meeting and then you
Oh,
can,
I'll probably be sitting right over there.
there you go.
I definitely will come to anything Habitat.
Yes.
Maybe remember I'm old, but it's 1977, the end of the Mary Tyler Moore Show. and
The
they
year
all
I
got together,
graduated.
And they had a big group hug,
Yeah.
they all got together. We won't be doing that, folks. But, all right.
Thank you.
So, again, we're skipping the month of July. Any other business to come before the board tonight?
Scott just mentioned to me out in the hallway that he put the 2 schools up for bid. Did he mention that to you?
Yes. Yep, so the RFPs for Center and North have gone out, and we've set it up they've set it up in a way where you can take one or the other or both. It's a little more open-ended. The last few RFPs have been a little more, they try to do the 2, and while we got interest, once DPW came in and needed that space, which is great. I mean, that's, to be able to use town property for town things, it's, why not? But, that limited it, so then we tried just listing the 1, and nobody really wants that, and then it came down to, it's gonna take so long to get the permits and everything going anyways, that we could do the 2, so by the time they can actually start building, DPW will be out. But they've put it out where it's a little bit more open-ended, and it's a little bit more flexible with some of the requirements and other things, so hopefully we actually get, better bite, so to speak, this time around. So it's exciting, and hopefully we get something.
Will it still be some affordable? or
Yes,
is it-
that has to, yeah. I think the percentages are also flexible on this, because
Okay.
I think we were going on the higher from last I checked, so there's still, they still are some, because that's how you get that opportunity. And having the historical aspects, now that we're doing the historical survey as well. But I think, given the trends, we'll have a better chance with the way this was worded compared, I think they use some templates from other municipalities that should help a little bit more, so.
Is that going to be available for people to see?
It should be, yeah. I feel like it should already be out into the ether.
Is that something you could forward to us, Amanda?
Yes, let's see. Center schools combined. Yep, so this went out June 4th. Yes, I can forward this along.
Okay.
The proposal submission deadline is Wednesday, July 9th, and developer selection would be in September.
You said July 9th's the deadline?
Correct.
And then September was what?
It's just September 2025.
No,
We
what
have
was
a
the-
set
What was it for? What
for
was
the
this?
developer choice.
Okay,
For any
developer
develop,
choice,
if we
okay.
have multiples.
Got it.
And that's really what we want.
Well, again, it's important. I'm glad you guys are here tonight because you're hearing this. It's, you're concentrating on one project here in Abington, but it's important for you to understand the condition in Abington, the housing, issues and things like that. Because, you obviously be picking someone, hopefully from the community. Well, everyone's open to it. You're not restricted to people living in the community, are you? Anyone?
We don't restrict
Somebody
it
from
to-
Brockton or Weymouth or whatever else.
Yeah, I mean, it is a lottery system, but
Right, but
That would-
we don't restrict in the preliminary stages.
Correct.
Anybody can apply for it.
correct.
Having said that, it tends to have the most visibility in the community that we are working in, but we don't restrict on it.
Keep you folks talking. What are the income? What are you looking for income for people to do on these things?
So the maximum income is 80% of the area median income. I don't have that on the top of my head for Abington,
Well,
but
we
you can look it up, yes. And
It's
actually,
100, isn't it 100?
they're in that range. It
Yeah.
depends on how many people are in the household.
Yeah.
But anyway, the minimum, again, it varies by project, but the minimum, I haven't done the calculations yet, but for our last few projects, the minimum has been 65,000. And the maximum, it's somewhere around 100, 104, depending on the community. Right now, we're building in Cohasset and Easton, so those are the 2 communities that are kind of on the top of my head right now. So I would suspect that we're probably talking a little south of that for Abington, but that would be the range that you're looking at, somewhere between the high 90s to 65.
I just read the median per capita income in Abington, and it's about 120,000 now. The state average is around 95, and the Old Colony Planning Council District averages around 114. So by those standards, Abington's a fairly well-to-do community. And it's risen from, I think it was around 57,000 in 2000, and it's roughly, double that in 2020. So you can see, that Abington, you're gonna tell people, yeah, it's a rich town, but the average price for single family in the house in Abington is $600,000 or $700,000 right now. So what you're gonna market this house at about $600,000, that's about what the going rate is for a single family house.
Right, well, of course, it's an affordable rate for us, so it's not, it won't be marketed at 600,000, it's probably, again, we're recording, so I don't want anyone to take me at my word, but, so to give you some idea, the homes that we're marketing in Cohasset right now, the duplexes are being sold for $260,000 each. And the house in Abington, the single-family home, which might be a better comparable to this one, is being marketed at $260,000. So it gives you some idea of the range that we're talking about. Now, having said that, to participate as a family partner in the Habitat program, there's a minimum income and there's a maximum income, but there are a number of other qualifications as well. One is demonstrated need. Beyond just the desire to own a home, there has to be a demonstrated need. There are other ones, debt to income ratio, credit score minimum, the ability to maintain a 30-year affordable mortgage, the ability to obtain a 30-year mortgage through a conventional lender, and a number of other ones as well. So those are all the qualifications that we look at as Habitat. And then once we have our group of qualified homeowners, we have to do the prerequisite affordable lottery as well.
And
So it's gonna be a lottery, basically.
did you mean to say Abington or Easton on the other one? The other home being,
She meant Easton.
you meant Easton, I think.
I'm sorry if I,
You said
I
Abington,
think you
yeah.
said
That's
Abington.
okay,
Yeah,
I
you
just
did. I
wanna
wrote that
clarify
down
for
and
the-
I was
for the
I
camera.
was a little bit
You're
confused.
so close to not saying the number. I hope people realize it.
Yeah.
I work with my friend
Yep.
Stephanie Danielson in Easton.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a great lady. She's retired. I've known Stephanie for a long time through CPC.
I do a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, yes, someone like to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
And
I'll
someone
second
second it? All
I'll
those in
second it.
favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you everyone for watching. Thanks for you folks tonight, parents.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
appreciate it.
We appreciate it, thank you.
Yeah.
thanks.
Thank you.